Hannah Murray on TRE in the afternoon.
With us on the line is Ellie McDonald, the co-founder. As per their recent Facebook articles, we'll be looking at various things they've been talking about. The fact that it's getting hotter. One, I love the title. If Spain didn't exist, we'd have to invent it. You know, you're not just passing through Spain anymore. When? And Spain's two personalities. How are you, Ellie?
I am very well. I'm burning up. I'm currently hiding from the sun.
Oh, yes, it is definitely getting hotter. I was just saying to you off air there, I was playing, I love your cat. Your cat wants to be involved.
Oh, yes, he does. He does. He wants to be very involved today.
Oh.
And I don't think he realises just how hot that becomes when he's, on top of me for several hours at a time.
Yes, no, I get it. I was just playing La Bamba and I just thought it might be a funny piece for you guys to write about, maybe songs that we grew up with in England, the UK, that had Spanish lyrics, and before maybe being able to speak any Spanish lyrics, just singing along to them without realising what on earth we're singing. La Bamba being a prime example.
Absolutely. I honestly remember the day that I realized the Macarena had words. I didn't speak Spanish growing up. And then I came to Spain and my friends were all Spanish. And then the Macarena came on. And, most Spanish people can't stand it, which I understand. But then my friends started to sing the words. And I was like, oh my God, it's a real song. Like... Do you know what I mean?
You just thought it was
I had no idea. And then my very first person that I met that was called Macarena, again, I had another what is her name? It was so good. It was so good. Such a learning curve, I tell you.
Brilliant. Oh, well, that'll be a funny little pice.
There we go. We'll write it down.
Yeah. Add it to your list, no doubt.
There's too many.
There was a lovely piece talking about it being hot and it getting hotter, but also talking about the different parts of Spain and how the heat can be affecting it differently. We can't summarise Spain as being hot and being the same temperatures throughout the country. What we're experiencing in the south coast, very different to the north of Spain and very different to the Canary Islands as well. Absolutely.
I think every area is very unique in its temperature. I've lived in a few of the different areas. For example, I was in Burgos for a while. And although Burgos has a good summer, it's not the same type of temperature. And the winter is a winter. It snows. It's, do you know what I mean? It's insane. You don't imagine it to happen, but it happens. And then you have, Galicia. Galicia is beautiful, but it's basically a slightly warmer Scotland, as in it's green and it's, it's something that you don't necessarily connect in your head when you're thinking about Spain as a foreigner. I mean, and as well, if you're in the Canary Islands, the summers tend to be particularly windy. So, people tend to go there kind of early time of the year, autumn, so that they're enjoying the weather. But no, Spain is definitely not, it has its different sides, its different personalities.
Yeah. I lived in Tenerife back in the late 90s from January till May, I think it was, and it was really hot the whole time. I mean, looking back, I don't think it would have been 30s necessarily, but certainly mid to late 20s.
I mean, it's definitely the best time of the year to go because those islands tend to get a little bit hit by, tourism, one, and also the wind. In the summer, it does tend to get worse. But I think the first time I visited, where did I go? I think it was in February. And I remember jumping into the pool because it was, it was hot outside. Yeah. But the pool took my breath away because it was not hot in the water.
It was a bit of a shock.
It was a shock, I tell you. I was like, oh my, I don't know if I can survive these temperatures.
You've also got some advice in the article, different ways to survive the Spanish summer. Some of the things we've talked about before. One of the things I like, become a professional shade hunter.
do you know what? This is for me the sign of a person who has lived in Spain for a long time, but who isn't Spanish. When I was younger, I used to look for the sun. I was desperate to be in the sun all the time. I wanted to be, on the sunny side of the street, not under the parasol on the beach, making sure that I was constant. Because I think we have this, especially a Scottish person, guilty. We have this mentality that maybe it's not going to be sunny again tomorrow, and we have to make the most of it now and get the sun and be in the sun. But when it must have been about 8 years in, I'm not going to lie, it took me a while, shade, I realized that it was actually really nice to be in the shade and not constantly be sweating and sun cream everywhere. Professional shade on her. Brenda laughs at me because it took me a while, but now I'm just like her. I'm against the wall when we're walking down the street.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
The dogs are the same because my poor dogs have only been out once today because it got really hot really quickly. And there's not much shade as I leave the house, and the poor things with their paws, you can see them like, please, mother, what are you doing to me?
Yeah, no, you have to be really careful with dogs, don't you?
Really careful.
Yeah. And another bit of advice I like is just the idea of slowing down. There's a reason that life feels different in the summer here. You say the middle of the day isn't meant for rushing around ticking boxes. It's for finding somewhere cool, enjoying a long lunch, having another coffee, and waiting for the evening to bring everyone back outside.
Absolutely. I think it's great that you'll notice it. I think you see it more in the villages. In the cities, people, they have a work timetable to adapt to, which I think can adjust ever so slightly the Spanish way. But in the villages, in the middle of the day, there is not a soul out there. They're either at the beach, at the pool, or having a siesta, which might not be sleeping. It might be just persianas down, TV on, and a nice coffee with the family. But it's definitely, it gives you a much better quality of life if you adapt to the heat. Trying to get everything done at 2:00 in the afternoon. Oh my God, it's torture.
Yes, definitely. Another bit of good advice is drink water before you're thirsty.
Oh, hydrate yourself, people. It's necessary.
Yeah, definitely. And
it keeps you cool.
It is kind of habit, isn't it? I know a lot of people that go, I don't really like water, and, it wouldn't be my drink of choice and that kind of thing. But you've got it next to you, yeah. It needs to be something that you're doing habitually as opposed to doing it because you're thirsty. Exactly like you said, you're just sitting there sipping water.
And it's something I think that I have particular difficulty drinking water, so I always have one of these cup things beside me, and it's 1.5 liters of water, and I finish it without even noticing that, because I'm just, up a little bit of water, a little bit of water. But I think, if you're waiting to have like a big drink of water, your body's tired already. It's it's dehydrated. Yeah. And I think for us, I remember traveling when I was younger actually, and depending on where my friends were from, they were told that they had to drink a different amount of water a day. And I remember the Australians being like, oh no, you have to drink 3 liters of water, and I was like, 3 liters? That's so much more. I wouldn't have been able to touch a liter. It was way too much. But now, drink water. Drink constantly. Drink all day. When you get your coffee, order a glass of water. When you go, water all day.
And there's so many symptoms that people can be suffering from, which can boil down to dehydration. So if you're feeling slightly lightheaded, bit of a headache, feeling a bit dizzy, if that's in the summer or in the heat and you're not drinking enough water, it's often that.
Absolutely. And imagine how much, I'm not a doctor, but imagine how much extra fluid you lose, especially in these kind of temperatures, just walking down the street, because it's a constant. You can't really go anywhere without breaking a sweat. Even if you're very healthy, it's It's not because you're unfit, it's because it's
hot.
40 degrees out there.
Yes.
It's 40 degrees, guys. So, I mean, yeah, you need to recuperate those liquids.
Definitely. I love this. If Spain didn't exist, we'd have to invent it. This went along with the video that you posted of people of all different ages and shapes and sizes dancing together in the street. It was a really lovely video that made me smile, that obviously inspired you to write a lovely article about how wonderful Spain is.
It is wonderful, isn't it? And it's true. It has its quirks that it just, sometimes if you stop and you watch, you think, this is cool. This is cool.
Yeah, one of the things you mentioned is the idea of neighbours knocking on the door with lemons from the garden because they have too many, little things like that are just so lovely and kind.
Yeah. People are very kind. The other day, actually, I was walking my dogs, and this old man who always says hello to me was like, oh, wait for me. I said, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And he comes down, and he had like one of these totes bag for shopping, but of the village. And he wanted me to take it back with me so that people from Scotland knew where I was living in Spain. And he's a sweet little man.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, it is nice. I mean, small things, but walking into the restaurant and not really having to order, I love that. When
they remember your order.
They remember, they know how work about it. I like it. It makes me feel at home.
Yeah. You ended the article by saying, because the world could always use another place where strangers still become neighbours and neighbours eventually become family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And who doesn't need more help? As in, the other day had a package. I just called the neighbour and I was like, can you go down and get the package from the front? And she was like, yeah, of course. And off she goes to pick up. Like, who doesn't need that? Everybody needs it. It's great.
Exactly. It's really nice. And this I really liked. You're not just passing through Spain anymore when... there's a moment somewhere between confusion and full acceptance where Spain stops being different and starts being yours.
I think it's a moment, isn't it? For me, there was a moment when I felt more at home here than at home. I don't know if it's happened for you yet, but it's, do you know what I mean? You start to adapt to the habits and you start to realize that they're better in many occasions. For the bread, for example, at home, I don't really eat bread. We're a potato family. But here it's like bread with every meal. And going in the morning to buy the baguette, to buy multiple baguettes, depending on the day. And the way that I take my coffee, everything about the style of life. Yeah. At first, the things I felt uncomfortable about, the things that didn't sit well with me, have completely changed. And now I'm like Spanish. Yeah, I'm a resident Spaniard.
One of the things that you mentioned that I could really relate to that made me smile was the idea of parking or people not parking and just double parking, putting on their hazards and disappearing, because that happens every day. And today I was driving back from the gym and there's this particular road where it happens on both sides of the road, and it takes a really long time to get from one side to the one end to the other because there's double parking all over the place. And for quite a long time that really irritated me. I was like, this wouldn't happen in the UK. People would be beeping their horns going, what the hell are you doing? It would just get, people would be driven crazy by it. You can't just stop your car and put the hazard lights on. But they do here, and you have to just kind of go, okay, does it really matter?
I'll get there in the end, right?
Exactly. It's quite nice that it's also laid back.
Yeah, and as well, one day it's going to be you with the hazard lights on. Yeah. So just accept it, because one day you are going to have to get out of the car because of something silly, and you're going to have to leave the car with the hazard lights on, and no one's going to care. Yeah. So it's, when you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Exactly.
I used to get particularly annoyed by that as well. And so I now I love it. But in the past, I'd be like, when they stop the car to speak to like Uncle Pepe at the side of the road, and they don't even put on their hazard lights. They just stop and stick their head out the window so they can have a full-blown conversation about, I don't know, next month's wedding or whatever they're talking about. And at first I used to think, oh God, like just, you know where each other lives. Just go to, just visit, you know what I mean? Just park, get out. But now I'm like, no, I get it. Why do we have to be in so much of a rush? Yeah. Where are we going?
Yeah, it's true. It's an amazing thing to have that acceptance of all these things, because who wants to be frustrated by these things all the time? It's not a nice feeling to be annoyed or the way they're doing this. Oh, this is so, why don't they put this? It's not nice to be feeling like that. It's much nicer to think, oh, isn't this lovely?
Yeah. I have a big dog. And when he was little, he had like a really bad stomach. So it was very difficult for me to control his moments when I had to clean them up, for example. They weren't necessarily easy to pick up. So I trained him to poo on the road, because I thought, well, at least if I can't clean it up properly, no one's going to have to stand on it. Yeah. But now he's a bigger boy. And if I'm honest, we found the right food and everything's good. But now he still takes this moment in the middle of the road. And so, sometimes he will literally just go out onto Kairia in the middle of the road and do his business. And there'll be like 5 or 6 cars like waiting behind him for the dog to finish his personal moment. And I remember the first 3 or 4 times I saw the local police when I came to this village. They would drive around to do their rounds of the village. And the first 3 or 4 times they ever saw me was because my dog had blocked them. They couldn't get past because he was busy taking his morning his morning dump.
Oh, amazing. I love that. And they didn't mind.
They didn't mind. They didn't beep. They just,
amazing.
Some people stick their head out the window and give me a comment. But if I'm honest, it's much better to have it on the road than on the pavement. And I thought it was a good idea at the time. I might regret it a little now, but
love it. And the article, you say, stop trying to make Spain make sense and you start making space for it instead. That's the thing, isn't it? It's changing your mindset about it. Yes.
And you should, because it helps.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. We haven't got time for Spain's 2 personalities, so we'll do that next week if that's okay, because that's a good one as well.
Yeah, it is.
Lovely.
It's true too.
Yes. So for anyone who hasn't found your page, if they just go onto Facebook and type in Be Spain Savvy and click like, then they'll see all of these fantastic articles in full and so much more about life and culture in Spain. Ellie, thank you so much for being with us. Have a great week.
Thank you.